Hey, shalom, 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 everyone. Welcome back to another episode of My Take with Rosh Ya'acob. On this show, we talk about different things and different subjects, and I give a Hebraic view on that subject. I am your host, Rosh Ya'acob ben Abraham, Rabbi of Gethsemane Spiritual Temple. And we got a good one for you tonight. We're going to deal with racial issues, especially in dealing with us and how we interact with each other, especially when it's interacting with people outside of our sphere. So let's say like this situation we're going to talk about with a young man is on a panel and is on CNN, and he begins to say disparaging words towards black people. And we're going to check it out. We're going to check it out. All right. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into it. So here we go. We got this show. It's on CNN. And as you can see, they still talking about President Barack Obama. And the young lady is saying something about the division that was made. And apparently Trump and a MAGA are saying that America's division is because of Obama, because of President Barack Obama. Now, if you remember, this president always preached inclusion. He was always the guy trying to include everybody together. So when they say that he caused division, it makes you wonder, what are they talking about? How did he cause division? What did he do that caused division? You see what I'm saying? That's what it makes you wonder, like, wait a minute. He caused division? What did he do to cause division? Like, seriously. Like, whenever it was a black issue, he didn't side directly with black people. And at one time when he almost did, he went left. So I don't understand how they're saying that President Barack Obama brought about division. The division that came about was from people that was against him in his presidency. They brought about the division. When he was the president, that's when the Ku Klux Klan and the hatred came out the bag. It was more racial crimes and all kind of stuff happening towards black people. Because they say with him in the White House, he wasn't going to fight for the black people. Right? This is a fact. Like, he was not out there running around saying, hey, I got to fight for the black people. He even said, I'm not the black president. Everybody used to say that. Do y'all remember when they used to say that? They say, he's not a black president. He's everybody's president. Let's look for that. I want y'all to remember that. You know, this is stuff that was said, right? Let's look. Look, this is what Obama said. It was this President Obama. President Obama was not running around talking division. Even when asked about being the black president, this is what he said. Now we're going to look at this. I'm going to make this bigger. I won't make it too big and it can't be seen. Okay, that's about big enough. You can still see it. So look at this. This was in 2011, right? President Barack Obama sought Tuesday to recapture some of the bipartisan appeal that helped get him elected. while using the opportunity to assail GOP lawmakers for blocking his jobs bill, right? So he was blocking bills and all the stuff he was doing, right? This is what he said. I'm everybody's president, he said, appearing in a politically important North Carolina and Virginia to promote his economic measures in his re-election. Obama promised that he would work with GOP lawmakers on any serious idea they present to create jobs at a time of high unemployment. I'm not the Democrat president. I'm not the Republican president. I'm everybody's president, right? So when they say he was about causing division, where's this coming from? Where's this idea of him causing division coming from? Because I was confused when I seen this, right? But that's not even what's good. You're going to see that it's us always going in on us. It's always some token somewhere that can go in on the rest of the brothers and sisters and say, oh, I'm not one of y'all, I'm special, because I can articulate and I can enunciate different words, so that makes me special. And we're going to pretty much hear him say this, right? So when I'm looking at this, I'm like, what is going on here? How could this person be saying that President Barack Obama caused division? The man who fought so hard to make sure that it was unity and never fully sided with black people, even when that happened with Trayvon Martin. The closest he came to siding on Trayvon Martin's side was when he said, if I had a son, he would look like Trayvon. That was it. That was it. If I had a son, he would look like Trayvon. He wasn't on Trayvon's side fully, not expressing and showing it. Because again, he had to be, as he put it, everyone's president. This was the guy that was speaking unity, and a guy stood up. The white guy said, "You lie," at his State of the Union address, right? Let's look for that. Let's look for the "you lie." I want to put it all out here because I want to show. Let me see. You lie. Now, this is him, right? This is President Barack Obama. He's speaking State of the Union address. He's going to be talking. He just became the president. He's trying his best to build everything up. And nothing like this ever happened to anybody that was the president before. Nobody felt bold enough to do this to the president. Even now with President Trump being a president, you will not hear somebody get up while he up there talking and say, "You lie," because they know what's going to happen to them. But they felt at ease doing this to President Barack Obama. They felt at ease doing this. Watch this. Watch this.
That our reform efforts would ensure illegal immigrants. This too is false. The reforms I'm proposing would not apply to those who are here illegally.
You heard it?
It's not true. And one more.
He said, "You lie." I don't care how mad they are with Trump. You don't see this and no Trump thing. They sit there quietly, might be grimacing, might be mad, but you don't see nobody bold enough to do what they did to him. Why did they feel so bold to be able to do that to him? Because his appearance said he was black. His appearance was that of a black man. Now, we can get into the schematics about this, that, and the other, but the optics is what the young lady is going to be speaking about. The optics. When they seen him, they seen a black man. Or they seen a person of color, if you don't want to say black. And they felt like they could say whatever they wanted to say to him. Let's rewind it back. I want you to hear it. You lie.
There are also those who claim that our reform efforts would ensure illegal immigrants. This too is false. The reforms I'm proposing would not apply to those who are here illegally. It's not true.
They see how all of them look like. Look at Nancy Pelosi. She like, oh, wait a minute. Did somebody just yell, you lie? We don't do that here at the State of the Union address. How dare they? How dare they do that? They felt bold doing it. It was no big deal. Yeah, I did it. And what?
And one more misunderstanding I want to clear up. Under our plan, no federal...
So she's still looking, she's still in amazement like, did somebody just call the president a liar? Hey, we don't do that here. We don't do that here, even if we don't agree or believe. You never see them did that to a president ever. Even though they might get down later and talk about Trump, you never heard anybody yell anything out to Trump.
Federal dollars will be used to fund abortions, and federal conscience laws will remain in place. Now,
so when you say, oh, he was all about division, I'm confused. Who was all about division? President Barack Obama was all about division? Are you crazy? All right, so let's get into this. Let's get into this real quick. I know y'all like you building up to it. Hopefully that build it up enough for you to be like, well, what are they saying, Ak? What are they saying? Well, let's look at what they're saying.
Black. And like that actually is a bit, no, it is. Like,
Is he black? What does that mean exactly? His mom is, his father is.
All right, so this is the part I'll come to because she said they was making a big deal about President Barack Obama because he was black, right? So he says, is he black? What part of him is black? His mama, his father, what part of him black, right? Now, he's going to this idea about being mixed. And this is the thing they go. But he know many of us came up under this country where they said if you got one drop of black blood, you black. And they still looked at him as being black. They didn't look at him as being mixed. You not white. So you black. You something other. That's how they looked at him. Right? That's how they viewed him. This brother wants to say, oh, no, it don't got nothing to do with that. So the young lady was making a good point because she was showing what I just said. The division came about not because of Obama. The division came about, yeah, Obama brought about the division, but it wasn't him per se. It was people that was hating on him that brought this division about because of their hatred for the president. Now, this guy's going to argue against that. He's trying to make it like, oh, nobody wasn't thinking about that. When I just brought up several examples that they were. That's why I got that out the way real fast. She's going to feel like, what are you talking about, man? Why are you on CNN clowning and doing this, right? But of course, they pay him good money to come on here and do this. So that's what are you on there for?
whatever your definition is, let me tell you something. Whatever your
yes, they are still operating under that. They still operating under the one drop rule. They still operating under the brown paper bag test. Yes, they do. He's trying to make light of it like, ha, ha, ha. And then she doesn't want to speak on it to that degree. So she's going to try to go around it another way. I would have told him, yes, we're still operating under that. Yes, we're still operating under that. He says it as if, ha, ha, we still doing it. Yes, we are. We're still doing it. Because before they hear your vernacular that he's going to talk about, before they hear your enunciation, they see you. And they don't say, oh, when I see him, I see somebody that might be black and white mixed together. No, when they see him, they see black. But let's continue.
Definition, whatever your definition might want to be of is he's black.
I think he's a
when most people look at him, no.
We do.
You're
we
black,
don't got the
I'm
time
black,
today
Abby's
for
black,
this one.
Barack Obama.
See, she tried to get him to understand. She should have, I would have met him where he was at. He's a human being. Yeah, a human being that happens to be a certain hue or color that gets treated a certain way in America. Yes, that's who he is. Now, is he actually from that? If we got down even deeper, he can say, well, his father was Kenyan and his mom she was white, you know, and his father Kenyan. So he can say, well, he's a Kenyan American, right? He can argue that, right? We know a lot of people jump on the black card. We seen it with Kamala, where they was bringing that out about Kamala, saying, well, Kamala family say that they are Indian. And he tried to separate that, right? And it's like, well, wait a minute. She look like a sister to me, right? When everybody see her, they see somebody black. You're right. But some people, they try to say only use that black stuff when it's necessary, when they can use it to their advantage. Other than that, they're going to use whatever other ethnic group they can say they came from, right? But that's beyond the point. When people see her, when they seen Kamala, they seen a black woman. Even though we can argue about the schematics of her being a black woman, but when people seen her, they seen a black woman. That's what they saw. Now, maybe not FBA. Even the same with President Barack Obama, not FBA, but it is a black person. That's the optics, the visual optics says black person. And that's what she said. You black, I'm black, he black. All us that got this, the way we look is black. But she's going to try to play into him. That was the first mistake. You start trying to play into his rhetoric and try to play things his way. I wouldn't have played into it at all. I would have kept going with what I was going with. Right? But she going to try to appease him. Let's see what happens.
Obama's black.
Let me just say, I just think that this is interesting.
They say it's one drop rule. Yes. Yes. One drop rule. Yes. 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 I'm not shying away from that. That's their rules. They made that rule. They made that rule. He trying to use it as if black people came up with that rule. They came up with that rule. They said one drop make you black. They came up with that rule about looking at your color. And if you lighter than this paper bag or you darker than this paper bag, they came up with all that stuff. It wasn't us. So I'm not going to let it disappear or let it be used against me as if I'm coming up with it. No, I'm playing by their rules. These are the rules they made. I'm playing by. I'm not going to let it get switched up because you wanted to be switched up. No, yeah, we playing by those same rules. Yes, they came up with the rules. We playing within that perimeter. I'm not going to jump out that perimeter now because everything I got, all the arguments I got is all based off of that perimeter. So I'm not going to jump off of that perimeter now just because you want me to. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. All right, so let's get going.
Because, Ashley, I'm hearing you say that part of the problem was that Barack Obama constantly reminded white America that he considered himself to be black.
Now, this is where she kind of tweaked it a little bit. And I felt like this was to help the guy's argument out. But she's going to correct her. Because it wasn't that he said, hey, I'm black, this that, because we noticed that he doesn't say that. And the guy's correct with that. That's part of him not wanting to have division. He doesn't say that. But when they saw him, that's what they saw. The visual optics was he is black.
No, and that was part of what they found offensive about.
No,
it's a more nuanced
we are the majority. My father was blind, but the majority of Americans are not blind. He didn't have to open his mouth for people to be reminded that he was the first one that was different.
See, this she used different. She tried to appease to him. He didn't have to remind the people that he was the first president that was black. That's what you should have said. Because by you saying different, then he gonna be able to say, well, everybody's different. I'm different. You're different. These people are different. See how he gonna play it? Watch how he plays on her words. She should have stuck with her guns. That's what I do when I go into a debate with people. I stick with my guns. I'm not gonna let you, because you said something, I'm trying to figure out a way to fight against you. So no, I'm gonna stick with my guns and what I know. And you gonna have to defeat what I know. If you can't defeat what I know, I win. I'm not going to say, oh man, let me change this because he said this and I don't want to seem like that. No, I'm rolling with the perimeter that they set up. They set up the perimeter. I'm rolling in it. He can squint his eyes at me as I'm talking. All that crazy mess he wants to do. I'm still going to address it the way I'm going to address it. But watch this.
Than any other president that has ever.
See how she looking at him? She's doing it for him. Did any other president? And he's going to take that and say, well, all the presidents was different. All to get under her skin. She should have stuck with her guns. Whenever you debating with people, always remember that. Stick with your guns. Don't let people come in and change how you trying to go with it and make you go a whole other way. Stick with your guns. Watch this.
Been in this country.
Every president has been different because they're all individuals.
See how he did that? Now, if she would have stuck with black, he wouldn't have been able to say that. He wouldn't have been able to say that. But see how he was able to maneuver around it because now he got her playing his game. She's now playing his game. It's like playing chess and you get the person in the person's head and they start moving the way you want them to move. And you sit there like, yeah, I got you now. I got you now. That's what we see happening. This is what he's doing.
There was a moment on the campaign trail. Yes, there was a moment on the campaign trail where someone stood up and talked to then candidate Obama and said, hey, look, all my friends keep telling me you're black. I tell them, no, you're biracial. And he lurched at the opportunity to say, hey.
Now, I never heard of any moment like this on a campaign trail. I never heard of any moment like this on a campaign trail where somebody said, I try to tell people you're the biracial president and this, that. He said, well, no, I identify as black. I never heard him identify as black. He always tried to maintain that he was everybody's president. And the thing that he used on the campaign trail was change. We're going to make a change. Nobody really understood what that change was. That change meant whatever it meant to any people. To some people it meant it's going to be more progressive. To some people it meant it's going to be about black people. Whatever it was, some people it meant it's not going to be like it was the last 4 years. With those Republicans and what they brought us to, right? A change. And then he had that nice slogan, yes, we can. Yes, we can make this change, right? That's what he ran on. He didn't run on, I'm the black guy. Because he knew that they would bring about division. So when this guy's up here saying this, he is lying. And none of them called him out on that lie. I'd be like, when he say that? You got any evidence that that happened, or is this just coming out your head? Because I never heard of that happening. I never heard him being on a campaign trail and say, I identify as black. Never. I never heard him do this. So let's keep going.
Hey, I'm perceived as black. I'm so glad I have an opportunity to talk about this. That's how I self-identify.
So you didn't think it was black?
Now she is still feeding into this thing about, well, you ain't think he was black. Don't fall for the tricks. Call him out on what he said. You made it as if what he said actually happened. People will go back and look at this clip and say, see, this black guy said this happened. Or this individual guy said that this happened. There's no proof that this happened at all. This is all coming out of his mind. But well, let's keep going. And if it is some proof, and if any of y'all out there, y'all support what this guy's saying, and y'all said it is proof, put it down in the description below. Put it down in the comments. In the comments below, put the link to the video or the article with the date and all that and say, this is the day that this happened that he's talking about. Because other than that, every time I heard President Barack Obama talk, it was always about everybody. He was always talking about being inclusive of everybody. He never just said, I'm the black guy. Never heard that. So when I hear you say that, I'm like, what are you talking about? You sound crazy to me.
Black?
I am an individual. I am not a black man. I don't even know what that means.
See, now we're going to spend time, instead of talking about how President Barack Obama didn't cause division, we're now going to talk about what being black means to him. Who cares what being black means to him? Look, even when we talk, look at the people on here. You got Jarrell talking about, Jarrell saying, deport him ASAP, right? This person said he thinks he's sophisticated. Wait till he meet unsophisticated white officers who don't give a blank about your black sophistication. This guy's a clown. Everybody is now talking about him. He did his job. His job is not to get you to address that Barack Obama did not bring division. His job is to get you to be angry with him and debate him about what he thinks about himself. Who cares? Who cares what he think about himself? But let's keep going.
I am an individual. Race is a preposterous social construct.
Do you feel like that when you get pulled over by the police?
Now, this is the thing. Now, she's trying her best to convince him. This was the problem. You're not on this show to convince him. You're on this show to show that President Barack Obama did not bring division. That's what you're on this show, to show that he did not bring division, right? That's what you're saying. That's what you're on the show to show, or to portray. But you end up arguing with this guy about what he believes about himself. Who cares?
I do feel like that when I get pulled over by the police.
Nice.
You know why? Because when they talk to me, they're engaging with this vernacular. They're engaging with me in this particular way.
Let's talk about the Bear Fest. I'm going to look that up. The Bear Fest.
Exactly 2 weeks ago that Harvard professor Henry Louis Gates was in handcuffs and having his mugshot taken after Cambridge, Massachusetts police sergeant James Crowley arrested him in his house for disorderly conduct.
Let's rewind this again. I want y'all to see what happened, right? Now, y'all might have seen this teacher's specials if y'all got PBS or any kind of channel of the liking. Y'all might have seen his specials on there. This is a highly privileged doctor. Now, you're going to hear somebody that's going to say, I articulate and I enunciate and I do this, that, other. Well, he don't articulate or enunciate better than Henry Louis Gates. Him compared to Henry Louis Gates is like comparing a regular person to the president. That's the status that Henry Louis Gates holds. But even Henry Louis Gates at the end of the day was treated as a black man. They didn't hear the way he enunciated and said, oh, we're going to talk to him different because he enunciated. You're going to understand why I'm saying all that later, because this was this guy is going to say, right? They didn't say, oh, we hear the way he enunciates. Oh, we hear how he talks and he speaks very, very well. They're not going to say any of that. You know what they're going to say? It's a black man in this neighborhood. What is he doing in this neighborhood? This is what they're going to say. They're not going to say, oh, he speaks good. He's this good guy. They'll say this is a black man in this neighborhood and we don't believe he belongs here. So I'm going to try to turn this up a little bit because it's kind of low. But this is from NBC talking about the Bear Fest or the Bear Summit.
It was exactly 2 weeks ago that Harvard professor Henry Louis Gates was in handcuffs and having his mugshot taken after Cambridge, Massachusetts police sergeant James Crowley arrested him in his house for disorderly conduct.
Now, y'all heard it correctly. Henry Louis Gates was in his house. His house. In a privileged community. He is a certain type of black man with a certain vernacular. He knows how to enunciate. He knows how to talk. He knows how to do all this stuff, right? He was in his home. The police came to his house and said, we don't believe this is your house because what are you doing living around here? He proved to the police emphatically that it was his home. The police officer got mad and coaxed him to come outside. He came outside his door. He slung him around, locked him up. President Barack Obama got wind of it. And this was the beginning of his presidency. And he said the cop did a bonehead maneuver. Why would he do that, right? Black people was excited. They said, yes, finally, we got somebody representing us in the White House. We got somebody representing us in the White House, right? That's what black people were saying. They was excited. They was happy. It was just everything, right? But then President Barack Obama took it back. And when he took it back and kind of came back off of that because he didn't want to cause the division that they said he caused, all of us was like,
say, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
That's how we were. We was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? How in the world could he do this to us? Right? That's how we were. And then on top of him taking back his word, he decided that he was going to have a bear summit where he was going to bring the victim, which was Henry Louis Gates. He was going to bring the victim with the aggressor, which was the police officer, and let them come to the White House to drink a beer.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
That's what we all said. We was like, man, what is happening right now? So I want us to get back to that because we're looking at this situation and I want us really to get what's happening right here. So you got Henry Louis Gates. He's at his house. The cop roughs him up, locks him up at his house, saying he don't belong in his own house. The president called him out for it. The white people got mad and said, there he goes, standing up for black people. And then he went back and said, I don't want to cause division. But I'm going to let them finish telling us what happened. This is going down memory lane, right? We always need to go down memory lane so we can see what happened.
The incident ignited a heated national debate about race. The professor is black, the officer is white. Tonight, both men are at the White House. They got together just moments ago, invited by President Obama to share a beer and what the president hopes will be a teachable moment for the nation. Jake Tapper is at the White House tonight, and Jake, fair to say.
So he wanted this to be a teachable lesson for the nation. In other words, he wanted to try to show that black people and white people should be able to get along. That Democrats and Republicans should be able to get along. He was all about, can't we all just get along? That was him, Rodney King. Can't we all just get along? Black people was enraged by this. They said, what in the world is going on here? He just showed them people that he's not going to stand for us, right? So I don't understand how they said he's about causing division. How? How, Sway? How? Seriously, how, Sway? He's about causing division. Really? He is? He's about causing division? That was ridiculous. But let's watch on.
We never have so many people focused on one round of drinks.
Certainly, I think that's fair to say. Certainly at the White House. So we saw President Obama sitting around the table with Professor Gates and Sergeant Crowley. They were joined by Vice President Biden. For the time that we were out there, which was just under 2 minutes, it appeared that most of the talking was being done by Professor Gates and Sergeant Crowley. President Obama chimed in once, but for the most part, he and the Vice President stuck to the snacks and the beers in front of them. It did not look like a particularly friendly meeting. This is, of course, the very beginning of it, and we know that Gates and Crowley both view what happened 2 weeks ago very differently, and Gates feels that Crowley owes him an apology.
He does.
Whereas Crowley says that he came here with the understanding they were going to agree to disagree.
So what part of coming together is that? Henry Gates coming in and expect, okay, I came, I'm expecting an apology. You did me wrong. I was at my house. You locked me up for no reason. You was real rough with me. You was wrong. You was wrong. All the way around, you was wrong. This is what he said to him. Now, he says, I thought we just came here to agree to disagree. And you saying President Barack Obama brought this together and we saying that he's about division? What part of division is this? That's why I say people got revisionist history where they try to retell it their own way. I tell people all the time, when you're dealing with history, this is why history is so important. Because they probably forgot all about this as they told Obama was about division. But yet he did this to bring about unity. Force somebody to sit down with their attacker and drink a beer. At the White House. But he sure is about division and about dividing us up. Let's keep going. Because if Trump is saying that, Trump tripping. He just want to be able to say something at this point. Because none of this is saying division.
And Jake, you were one of the few reporters out there as the pool reporter. I mean, did you mention the fact that they both came in sort of staked into their positions? Was there any warmth, could you see, in the body language? Did they seem to be sort of cutting through and talking about these tough issues the whole nation has been debating?
Well, we were 45 feet away, so there's so much we could tell, but it didn't look like an especially warm moment.
It wasn't.
It looked, when we first went out there, that Professor Gates was perhaps telling Sergeant Crowley how he felt. I don't think anybody there expected that this was going to turn into the event it became.
Earlier today, President Obama said he was, quote, fascinated with the fascination about his drinks with Professor Gates and Sergeant Crowley. And he chided some in the media for calling it a beer summit.
It's a clever term, but this is not a summit, guys. This is three folks having a drink at the end of the day and hopefully giving people an opportunity to listen to each other. And that's really all it is.
The president said instead of anger and hyperbole, he hoped tonight would bring self-reflection and the recognition that everyone has different points of view, a fact lost amidst the hype.
That you lose sight of just the fact that these are people involved, including myself, all of whom are imperfect.
With their families, Gates and Crowley flew from Massachusetts to Washington, D.C. earlier today. Gates has said he wants an apology. And Crowley?
What do you hope to accomplish today, though, in meeting with the White House and the professor? Hoping they can move on and get back to work.
Crowley's arrest of Gates for disorderly conduct in his own home drew some headlines.
Disorderly conduct in his own house because he showed you his ID and let you know who he was, and you was mad that a black man was living out there, and you locked him up and made something out of it. Let's just keep that in mind. I want us to keep that in mind. Because this is the ridiculousness, right? So I want us to get back into this because again, this is the thing that we're being told again, and I want us to look at this. That President Barack Obama was blamed by Trump and MAGA as the ones who started division. That's what we want to focus on. They was blamed as people that started division. How ludicrous is that? That's ludicrous, right? Now, he says all of that. But again, I just showed y'all Professor Henry Louis Gates and how they treated him. And he enunciates way better than this guy. And he got credentials around him to back him up. Everybody knows who Dr. Henry Louis Gates is. Even his officer had to have an idea of who he was. But guess what? He wanted to show him that I'm the man around here. I'm the peace. I'm the police. I don't care who your black butt is. He thinking he gonna be able to maneuver around that. How you going to maneuver around that when the first case that got presented to President Barack Obama was of an affluent black man who taught President Barack Obama? He was one of his teachers. He taught him. And he got treated as if he just was a regular black guy. He had a wake-up moment. His wake-up moment is coming. This guy had a wake-up moment. So what went wrong with him? They didn't understand his vernacular. They didn't understand the way he pronounced words, how he presented himself. But they'll understand it from you? Get out of here.
And it's impossible to misconstrue what's going on here.
What is going on there? What is going on there? What is going on?
See? You let him get under your skin. You should have stuck, sister. He know you emotional. He figured you're a woman, you're emotional. I'm going to get under your skin. I'm going to say some stuff that's going to get you in your emotions. And now the points that you're trying to make, which was a great point, the point you was trying to make is now going to be taken away. And now everybody is talking about him. Look at what this guy says. He says, wow, I think this gentleman is attempting to make someone believe that because he speaks well and is educated and sophisticated that people forget your color and your race and treat you according to your intelligence. That's exactly what he said. But we got the example that I already showed with Professor, I want to call him Doctor, with Professor Henry Louis Gates. That goes against everything he just said. Everything he just said, it goes against that. And the way President Barack Obama handled it shows that he wasn't about division. He was about unity for this country. He was about unity. I might didn't agree with everything he said, but he was about unity. Look at what this guy said. Officer, why are you putting handcuffs on me? I'm sophisticated. That's what I'm saying. This guy's talking crazy, but what he did works. Nobody's dealing with the issue. Everybody's mad and dealing with him and this preposterous stuff that he said out his mouth.
On there, a different type of blackness than when somebody that actually might not have that vernacular.
I'm an individual.
Right, but wait, hold on. Wait a minute.
Okay.
You just
see, she's so mad with him that she is not even talking about the issue no more. And he's smiling because he know, I got you. I got you. Now we ain't talking about this issue no more. We now focus all on me. Look at him. Look at him smiling. He know he got her. Look at her. She got her in her feelings, and he's winning. He won this. We might don't like it. We might say all this other stuff. Look at what Willie D Live said. This is our brother Willie D. Well, look at what Willie D says. The fact that he thinks being sophisticated exempts one from police brutality tell me he's not sophisticated at all. Boy, he's slower than a crippled turtle. Look what the other person said. Tiger Woods found out the hard way, and so will he. Everybody is dealing with him and what he said, right? And then this guy said she should have asked the white guys at the table, what do they see when they see him? They probably say, we see an individual, we don't see color. And then later on, that black guy we had on the show, he was off the hook. Get out of here. The way he thrives off the approval from the very same people who created the same construct he thinks he can ignore. Yeah, okay, exactly. They created it. So I'm not going to sit back and not use what you created. You created it. I now mastered being able to defend myself in this box that you created. And now you want to turn the box against me and get me to try to come up with another way to defend myself outside of the box that you put me in. No. I'm not jumping outside of the box. I'm dealing right with that situation right there. And that's what she should have did. Look, he happy. He got her. Look at him. He got her.
Said a lot there.
So apparently we do have time.
Okay, so you said when you were pulled over by a police as an individual who happens to have skin that is black, let's say that.
I mean,
or brown, whatever, darker than white, okay?
Yeah.
That.
See, she's still trying to reach him, trying to make him feel okay with what she's saying instead of just saying you black. He don't want to say black, so brown, darker than white, all this other stuff. No, black. We dealing with the one drop. We dealing with the brown paper bag, baby boy. I'm not going to jump out of that because you want me to jump out of that. We dealing with that. You can say, okay, well, that means that we are in white supremacy that you're against. Whether I say it or not, we in white supremacy. It don't matter if I say that or not. We still in white supremacy. So what you talking about? Anyway, let's keep going.
When they hear your vernacular, they realize what they're engaging with. And what is that?
A sophisticated individual.
And so when a black person...
See, a sophisticated individual. Yet as many sophisticated individuals, again, I'm going to keep going back to it, who I showed at the very beginning, Professor Henry Louis Gates, which is more sophisticated than this guy, and he still got treated as a black man.
Who is pulled over that you might not deem as a sophisticated individual, how will they get engaged with?
The issue would not be their race. It would be the degree of sophistication they have or don't have to navigate the situation.
And when a
lies. Again, we seen it at the beginning. Dr. Henry Louis Gates. This is a lie.
White person is pulled over.
Again, sophistication is still the key issue.
The statistic.
Lies. Lies, lies, lies. But he got you buying into his argument. The first thing I would have said was, what about Professor Henry Louis Gates? You think you more sophisticated than him? Because he got treated like a black man. They manhandled him and everything.
Don't support that.
I just don't.
They don't.
Go ahead, John.
Look,
Barack Obama's black. And like that actually is a bit. No, it is. Like.
All right, so that's how that started off. You notice how the white man then came in and tried to bring it back to where it was at. But they should have stayed on what it was about. But it's good. You know, we got a lot of people that contact. This doctor, I actually thought about Uncle Ruckus, right? It's a scene on the Boondocks where Uncle Ruckus gets pulled over by the police. Now look, it's the part I was talking about. This is what made me think about him. Yeah, Uncle Ruckus love the white man, love the police. He love all this stuff. He's right here, right. He calls the police on Riley. Riley gets out of there, the police coming, Riley gone. He calls the police. The police is gonna come and whip his butt. Watch this mess with him. Watch this.
Well, if it's brave men and women of the police department, come say today. Get out of the truck and show me some ID!
Look. They said, get out the truck and show me some ID. Right? That's what they said. They said it's to him. Get out the truck and show me some ID. Now, he the one who called the police.
That's a fine idea, officer. Can't be too careful. I'm just gonna reach into my pocket and take out my safe toy.
He gonna reach into his pocket to get his wallet. And they say police he called, they gonna get him. Oh my goodness, they gonna get him. Oh, watch this foolishness. Hold up. Let me make it big. Hold up. Let me rewind this.
The brave men and women of the police department, come say today. Get out of the truck and show me some ID! ID? Oh, that's a fine idea, officer. Can't be too careful. I'm just gonna reach into my pocket and take out my safe toy.
Yeah! This is what that guy remind me of. He's an individual. This is somebody who loved them. This is somebody who called them. And he is agreeing with them. And they shot at him just because he went to reach for his wallet. What's this?
They wanted him gone.
Hey, officer, it's okay. I have a backup wallet just in case.
He said, I got a backup wallet. They gonna shoot him again.
No. Keep a spare blockbuster car. Good! Hey, what's going on?
Now, it's the crazy part. Now they gonna beat the mess out of him with the batons. Look at them running. They about to beat the mess out of him with the batons. And this fool gonna... Oh, watch this mess. He said, I appreciate what you're doing.
90 degrees and the temperature was rising.
So that's the thing that I pitched with him. And even at the end of this joint, he's going to be the one that's going to turn around. He's going to be the one that's going to turn around and still try to be, quote unquote, the police officer's friend. He going to turn around and still try to be that friend. After what they just did to him. After all that they just did to him, he's still going to try to be their friend. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. But anyway, that was the clip for tonight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. I appreciate each and every one of y'all that logged in for the show. Tonight's show was brought to you by our sponsor. Our sponsor for tonight's show was none other than Simply Gorgeous Glow. So please support her online. She got a lot of different things for you. So Simply Gorgeous Glow. Support her. I got her information in the link below as well. And we also got another sponsor, The Art of Clothing. You see, I'm always supporting and wearing their garments. And I also got their information in the description below. So I thank you all for being here with me tonight. And I just want to wish you a good night and say Layla Tov and Shalom.
Israel, Adonai, Elohim.